We are 15 days away, 15 days from today, from training camp opening up for some teams, including the Chiefs, the Bills, the Dolphins, the 49ers, the Ravens, Giants, Saints, Falcons, and Chargers will all open up training camp on Tuesday, July 18th. That's the day. The Packers, they don't get started till July 21st, but that's where we get started right now. Talking about Green Bay here, there is news coming out of the frozen tundra, which is not so frozen at this point in the calendar. So if you've not heard, maybe not, we are told that Green Bay quarterback Jordan Love looked leaps and bounds better than he did a year or 2 years ago during recent workouts with the team. The insider crowd spelling it all out. How good he looked. Unbelievable. So amazing. So the reports say, saying that Love looked more refined. The way he holds the ball, his command overall. There's a reason why the Packer players are stopping for Love publicly, said the insider report. He's made a lot of growth. Okay. On and on. Slobber, slobber, slobber. Lick, lick, lick. So let us discuss the question on this one. What is your perspective on these glowing reports around Jordan Love coming out of Green Bay? So I've got AAA, Magic Dragon, and verbiage. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a nice firecracker is what we're going to make. So at number one, I start out in a position of being a skeptic. I am skeptical. O ye of little faith when it comes to Jordan Love. Jordan Love has not done anything. I have as much confidence in you listening, succeeding as a quarterback, as I do Jordan Love. And necessity is the mother of invention, as the old line goes. And if Aaron Rodgers had not had a hissy fit and said, get me out of here, I want out of Green Bay, then Jordan Love would continue to be in the shadows. He would have been traded somewhere else. But as a result of loggerheads between Rodgers and the Packers front office, Aaron Rodgers is now slumming with the Jets. More on that in a minute. And Jordan Love is the flavor of the month for the Pack attack. He's being promoted. He's the next big thing. Jordan Love, drafted, groomed, and now he is ready to have his bar mitzvah. He is ready. The nicest thing about the future is that it always starts tomorrow, right? So the tomorrow is the beginning of Jordan Love. It's actually a few days after that, July 21st when it begins. But the Packers at this point in the story, if you look at the chapter here and you read the chapter, the Packers have gone out. They've contacted AAA. The tow truck has arrived with the Packer logo on it there. They're pumping up the tires on Jordan Love. We've seen several stories from Green Bay players in the last couple of months, and they have been laying it on really thick. I'm talking mani-pedi, bubble bath, shoulder massage. Man, they are all about sugarcoating the situation, making this appear to be a much better situation. And here's what I expect. Green Bay with Matt LaFleur will go in there, the coaching staff of the Packers, and they will run a rudimentary offense. They will dumb it down, and they'll say, hey, we can beat the Bears, right? We can beat the Lions by running a dumbed-down version of the offense. Now, whether that's true or not, we'll see when the games actually begin, but that's the goal, keeping the training wheels on the Love boat and looking to avoid the sputtering beginning. You want to have that nice, smooth launch, right? You get out and everything is wonderful. Everything is nice and smooth. Now, meanwhile, on page 2, over the weekend, speaking of the Packers, their president, Mark Murphy, confirming the Packer executive, the big head cheese, confirming some recent reports that the Jets will be appearing on HBO's Hard Knocks here in 2023. The NFL's marketing arm has settled on the Jets, according to the Packers president there, the show that takes you behind the scenes during training camp. Now, not everyone is happy about this development. Some pundits are freaking out, saying recently that Aaron Rodgers is a big enough distraction that this will sink the Jets plane and it will come tumbling down in a barrel roll, and that this is a kamikaze mission. That what are you doing here? With Aaron Rodgers is one thing, but now Hard Knocks, and you're not going to be able to win with Hard Knocks there. And oh my God, this is so terrible. So let us discuss, should the Jets be worried about the Hard Knock spotlight coming to their locker room? The answer, the only acceptable answer, is two letters with a plus sign in between them. N+O. No, they should not be worried. It's ridiculous. The pearl clutching on Hard Knocks. And I realize we live in the age where everyone's got to get worked up into a tizzy about the most ridiculous things, and I make my living doing that, but this is a bridge too far for me, right? This is the stupid with the capital S, and that's where we are on this. It is a yearly ritual. It is a yearly ritual, Hard Knocks. It is faux outrage. The Detroit Lions, by their standards, had the greatest season the Lions have had since Barry Sanders was there. Now, they didn't make the playoffs last year, but they were on Hard Knocks. Last time the Jets made the playoffs, spoiler alert, they were on Hard Knocks. And certain factions of the NFL media, the people, they get worked up here. And certain parts of the fan base is like, there's this primal scream. And they start hyperventilating. Let that all commence. And I don't get it. This is one of those non-controversies. A non-controversy is a controversy that should not exist. And this is like a mild non-controversy, but still. And I'll tell you why. Very simple. And if I'm wrong, call me on it. But I've watched enough of these Hard Knock shows over the last generation that these shows have been on the air. The NFL Films production team, and that's who puts this together, NFL Films, they are filled with thespians. These people that make these documentaries, the final edit is done by Puff the Magic Dragon, if you will, right? They extol the virtues of whatever team happens to be on Hard Knocks. And I always get a kick out of these coaches and the people that, this is not right, this is going to be terrible. I've yet to see a season of Hard Knocks where the team looked terrible. And there are teams that are absolutely horrible that should be bashed, and they're not. It's the same basic storyline, and we've talked about this in years past. The Hard Knock show is like watching House Hunters on HGTV. It's the same concept, right? You get the three houses, and you're trying to figure out which one you want and the whole thing, and then you go back and forth. Or Love It and List It. Same thing. All those HGTV shows. It's all the same concept. Love It and List It. You're going to keep the house. You're going to get rid of the house. There's the scene where I'm just sorry, I don't have the budget. I can't give you everything I want. There's termites in the roof. And there's that scene. And then there's the dramatic scene at the end. And they tell you how much money your house is now worth. And then you have to decide whether or not you want to take sell the house and then get another house and the whole thing. But it's the same concept. It's like everything's great, everything's wonderful. In Hard Knocks, it's exaggerated. It's puffery. Like Puff the Magic Dragon, you're over-the-top rhapsodizing the great qualities of the coaches and the players and all that. It's show business, right? And you wouldn't know this based on all of the overreaction, the fingernail biting that goes on every time we get to the point where a team is being announced. And this isn't even official. This is merely the Green Bay Packers president pretty much confirming in a sarcastic way that he was excited to see all the former Packer players who are now with the Jets on the show. Final point. So things happening with the other New York team, the Giants and running back Saquon Barkley getting some attention here. They are running out of time to get a long-term contract done. The latest report over the weekend said hope is not lost. Well, thank God. We are told there is optimism. Optimism, a contract agreement could be reached. The deadline on that is July 17th. Mark it on your calendar. So we're 2 weeks away from that deadline for franchise tag players. Are the Giants. Are the Giants going to do it? Are you sharing the optimism that Saquon Barkley will get a new deal and not play under the franchise tag, and he'll get a new contract with the Giants? So by no means am I optimistic. I am not Benny Brightside on this one. And why would you? Why would you be optimistic on this being done here? I would be genuinely surprised if Barkley gets a new payday from the Giants. And this is a textbook example here. You got premier running back, doesn't get paid. Nobody's getting paid. Derrick Henry got paid. Christian McCaffrey got paid. But after that, that's where the beat stops. That's where the music stops on that. And we're hearing the Giants offered Saquon Barkley a contract worth a lot of money, up to $14 million a year with incentives. The key part of that is with incentives. Up to is classic Weasel verbiage. Look at the verbiage. Classic Weasel verbiage. Guaranteed money is and always will be the sticking point when it comes to running back contract negotiations. I do not expect the Giants to budge an inch. Not an inch. Not even a half an inch. And if you look at your scorecard, we have the three musketeers, or some would say the three stooges, who are currently the last three standing on Survivor Island, as they have not gotten paid. They've got the franchise tag. You've got Saquon Barkley with the Giants, the Raiders, and Josh Jacobs, and Jacksonville tight end Evan Ingram. Those are the last three remaining franchise tag players that have not worked out long-term contracts with their respective teams. I would expect all three of those players to not get new contracts. Of the three, the most likely to get one would be Evan Ingram, but even that's a long shot.